Thank you. Mr. Lyons, your written testimony today does not make one single mention of Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy. Not one. 2 American citizens have been murdered at the hands of your agency, and you have deliberately chosen under oath before Congress to ignore these tragedies. And so today, in my 5 minutes, I look forward to getting the American people some answers and some accountability that I believe they deserve. Mr. Lyons, I have some simple yes or no questions. Do you believe the U.S. Constitution provides due process for everyone in this country?
Yes.
Do you believe American citizens have the right to protest freely without being assaulted or killed by our government?
Yes.
Do you believe there should be an independent investigation when an innocent person is killed by a law enforcement agency in this country?
Yes.
Do you believe your agency has a legal obligation to follow court orders?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Lyons, you have a very strange way of showing it with a federal judge finding that your agency is in violation of 96 orders in 1 month alone, and that's just Minneapolis, Minnesota. This administration and the agencies represented before us have shown a complete and utter disregard for the law and the Constitution. Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, both American citizens, both dead at the hands of federal agents. Alex Preddy was a VA ICU nurse who dedicated his life to healing people, healing veterans. I worked as an occupational therapist for over a decade. In that video that we've all seen, it was Alex Preddy who was doing what healthcare workers do, what nurses do. They help people who are hurting, help people who are in trouble. In this case, helping a fellow peaceful protester who was shoved to the ground right before your agents shot him 10 times. And we're now learning that FBI Director Kash Patel stopped the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota from investigating the death of Ms. Good because of fear that an investigation would contradict President Trump's falsehoods that she violently, willfully, and viciously ran down an agent. 6 federal prosecutors resigned rather than participate in a cover-up. Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, and you, Mr. Lyons, have appointed yourselves judge, jury, and executioner, allowing American citizens to be gunned down in our streets with impunity. We all know the president is a liar. He's sold snake oil his entire life, but he can't tell us and the American people that we did not see with our own eyes what we saw in that video. 2 Americans shot dead in cold blood. The American people aren't stupid like he thinks we are. The fact that our government murders American citizens, lies about it, and then refuses to investigate or seek justice is beyond abhorrent. It's un-American. Mr. Lyons, in America, we shouldn't have secret police. We shouldn't have masked government agents executing citizens in the streets. The Constitution does not give your agency the right to hide their faces while they kill Americans. Will you commit, yes or no, to immediately unmasking every agent conducting immigration enforcement and requiring them to wear standard uniforms with identifiable badges?
No.
Well, that's a sad response. Your answer is completely unacceptable. People who are proud of what they do aren't hiding their identity. We're a nation of laws, and you, your boss, Secretary Noem, and Donald Trump are not above the law. The American people are angry, and they're demanding accountability and justice from those giving the orders. Mr. Lyons, yes or no, do you believe that Secretary Noem should resign?
I'm not going to comment on that, sir.
So you're going to look the families of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy in the eye and tell them Secretary Noem should keep her job after their loved ones were killed?
Sir, the loss of any life is unacceptable. My heart, prayers, and thoughts go out to anyone who tragically loses his life, especially a child, since I've suffered personal loss in my life. But I'm not going to comment on an ongoing investigation.
Well, Mr. Lyons, the American people are watching. Your unwillingness to demand accountability from your own leadership speaks volumes. 2 American citizens
Gentleman's
are dead.
time is expired.
The American people deserve
Gentleman's time
accountability.
is expired. It is members are